This podcast is brought to you by MHA of Dutchess County and produced by CMJW Entertainment.
You're listening to The Vital Women of Washington Heights.
Hello, everyone. My name is Iris Douglas, and with me again is my co-host, Ivette O'Sullivan. We are I and I. Welcome to the Vital Women of Washington Heights, living in Dutchess County. Our sponsor is Mental Health of America of Dutchess County, which is Andrew O'Grady. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Mental Health America also supports comprehensive mental health services and addiction programs. Their main building is located at 253 Manson Street in Poughkeepsie, New York. We will examine today the progress of the Vital Women today, of what's going on with women in our community, in our society, and in our universe. So Yvette, I know you have your little teaser you'd like to talk about before we start our episode.
I always have my bochinche
Your
before we
bochinche.
start the episode, but I'm very excited that we're going to discuss vital women, not just our show, but women in general that are in midlife and they're considered to be vital as well. So I am going to read my statistics because I find them to be very interesting. I always do a little bit of research to incorporate it into the show because as a retired social worker and educator, I like to educate my public. In doing my research in Dominican Republic, women play a vital role in becoming entrepreneurs, which I was not aware about that. I was very excited when I found this information. So there is the Global Entrepreneurship Minor that tracks the statistics. And in 2021, women had the highest startup rate compared to other Latin American and Caribbean nations. And the survey demonstrates that 43.7% of women in Dominican Republic and the Caribbean are starting companies. I was amazed by those statistics. And it surpasses men. And I'm like, wow, go Dominican women.
I believe it.
They are, Dominican women are very strong beings. And from a very young age, they're taught to handle a lot of different challenges. So therefore, I was very proud when I came across this information, how they're taking the initiative to start their own businesses.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because my grandmother was an entrepreneur. She used to make soap. She used to make soap and she used to make clothes for Balaguer and his family. So it's interesting. And she was like the main breadwinner. You know, my grandfather, I'm not sure what he was doing, but she was the one that she was like, I was making soap, I was doing this and I was doing that. And my mother was also a hustler, you know. She took care of children. She took care of babies in an apartment in Washington Heights to take care of us. So women in our culture has always been pioneers of starting new businesses, bodegas, seamstress, cleaning businesses and stuff like that. So I'm really not surprised, but I'm really happy that you're showcasing this because I didn't know that. I just know that the women in my family, the Dominican women, were always business, always. My grandmother had multiple businesses. She had buildings and casa in Santo Domingo that she was renting out. So it's, yeah, thank you for bringing it up because
You're
it
welcome.
matters. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
welcome. Well, and it's never too late for
Never.
women or even women that are approaching their midlife to start their own business. And the reason that a lot of women are looking into starting a second career or becoming entrepreneurs is because they feel that they had concentrated a major part of their lives, whether it was managing their families or working as career women in many different fields. And now they have time for themselves to really look at what they want to move forward with and concentrate on that passion.
Those are facts because I was like, I'm 62 now, but when I was like 55 years old, I got into Reiki. I started making soap with certain scents with sandalwood just to calm the nerve, just to calm. I didn't know about the nervous system at that time. I grew after that, but it was calming and soothing to me. I created a company called Soothing Spirits that it was all about meditation and Reiki and teaching people how to, self-heal. I made soap. I made baños, I did a whole bunch of stuff, like herbs, a lot of spiritual stuff, but it was a business. My daughters are now looking into like doing stuff, but women have been very creative since the minute they were born. They're playing games and they're
Mhm.
sewing and they're cooking and they're doing this and they're taking care of the family. So anywhere between, I would say anywhere between 40 and 60 women are always recreating themselves, redoing themselves. I worked for pediatric ophthalmology for 20 something years, and then I became a Reiki master at the Traveling Buddha here at the Galleria. Then I started working for Raymore and Flanagan, as a salesperson. That's where I got more sales and, more sales experience and stuff. And then I owned a wellness center. So we are always recreating, self. So I think it's important that women keep doing that. Yeah.
Evolving. It's important
Evolving. That's it. That's the
it's
word,
important to
evolving.
evolve.
We have to
And
evolve. We can't
sometimes
speak.
people may think, oh, they've done so much, or Iris has done so much, and she's always trying something new. It's not about trying something
No,
new.
it's always.
It's about going with your passion.
Yeah,
And when you go
always.
with your passion, a lot of times you're a lot happier than just sticking to one particular career or one particular what's the word that I'm looking for? One particular journey in life.
Yeah, no.
Mhm.
There's
Wh-
many
mhm,
journeys. You can
mhm,
reinvent yourself so many times
mhm,
because I
mhm,
have.
mhm,
And for those who are always questioning, oh my God, what's she up to do?
mhm,
I'm just up to whatever spirit is
mhm,
guiding me to do
mhm,
because we have purpose. You have a purpose,
mhm.
right?
Yes.
You know what your purpose is. You started your nonprofit a couple of years ago, which is
Yes.
amazing.
And I started my nonprofit in my early 40s.
Do you see what I
So,
mean? You started that and
mhm,
you encouraged a lot of teenagers. You helped a
mhm.
lot of teenagers change their mindset because you were there for them. Then you became an entrepreneur. Then you're a
Yes.
teacher and now you're a coach.
Yes.
So it's like you don't stop growing just because
No.
you're 40.
No.
No. Yeah, no, you
No,
don't.
no. We're like, a lot of the times when you and I have private conversations, we talk about how we are like a tree with the
Yeah,
different branches. And just like a tree has different branches, that's how we can take different paths in life.
that's right. I love the
And
way you
we
said
can
that.
have long branches, we can have short branches. And it's just a matter of how we use that energy, because you
Mm-hmm.
talk a lot about energy,
Mm-hmm.
how we use that energy. And I prefer to use that energy more for positive ideas and bringing that ideas to the community.
Yes, and you're going
Mhm.
to influence a lot of people because I feel that ever since that you and I have been working together, I have grown, and to support women supporting women, that's very important. I think that people are going to see that with us. Women are going to see that how we support each other because before you came, I wasn't really hanging out with anyone at the Hudson Valley. It was just me with my little lonesome. So I'm being honest. So you came
Mhm.
along and it's just a completely different story. So thank you. I
We're
appreciate it.
forced together.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to talk a bit about that powerful force about
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, where someone has an idea and needs a brand and wants to brand out, something. Like for instance, when you started your business with hats, what inspired you with hats? Because I love wearing hats. I'm wearing a scarf today, but I love wearing hats. What inspired you? And how old were you when you started your business with
Well,
hats?
several things inspired me. I've always loved to wear hats. I love going to the Kentucky Derby and wearing those fancy hats
Hmm.
and getting dressed up. And when COVID happened, a lot of great things happened to me. At the same time, I was going through a depression, but I was getting a lot of great ideas, being
Mm.
creative. And that's what helped me get out of that depression. And that's when I started making hats. I made a hat to go to an event. And as I was creating this hat, I was journaling. And as I continued to journal. I wrote a poem about how working with my hands and healing came
I
about.
love
I
it.
went to that event and somebody was like, "Oh, where did you buy that hat?" I was like, "Oh, I made it." And that's where the idea grew from attending that event and that person asking me, "Where did I buy it?" Not only do I make hats, but I make purses as well.
I know. I
So,
love I love the flow that you have with everything you do.
mhm,
So women now in their 40s and 50s, it's not the same as it was when our mothers were 40 and 50s. These women are younger, they have more energy, they're inspired,
mhm.
they're influencers. Like you and I follow someone, we love her.
Mel's Robbins.
Mel's Robbins,
Mhm,
and she's the perfect person because she's done a lot, and now she's in her
Yes.
best place,
Yes.
right? Because she's doing what she likes to do. And I think that that's what we're doing as well. I mean, I hustle and bustle in corporate, leader, sales, spirituality, and how here we are having this conversation so we could share with other women and particularly in men that at 40 and 50 you can still grow.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what
We
else is
spoke
going to
about
happen.
a force, and I think
Force.
what drives us also is that sisterhood, because women need community. Women
Absolutely.
need to sit down and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and just talk about creativity, talk about how can we support each other in a positive way. And in previous shows we've talked about how sometimes there's that war that takes place with women, and that happens a lot of the time when there is either low self-esteem happening to some women and they feel competitive towards other women. But coming together, there's so many great collaboration that you can form by
Yeah.
supporting each other.
Women
Mhm.
are here to
Mhm.
serve and help community and children, and
Mhm.
and I'm just happy that we're doing it too,
I
to
think right
bring
now
out.
also our favorite word, or is becoming more of a buzzword for us, is metamorphosis. And that is something that we use in our business card when we talk about menopause, the
It
midlife
is about growing, isn't it? It's about
metamorphosis.
changing,
It's about growing and
evolving,
changing.
like you said
Mhm.
earlier. It's about
Mhm.
evolving and changing. It's not about staying behind.
Mhm.
I cannot stay home and watch TV all day. I will go crazy. I have to create, I have to write, I have to paint, I have to move, I have to do yoga, I have to do breath work. That is so important. And I feel like a lot of people are not doing that, Yvette. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that a lot of people are not, you do yoga, you go out for your walks, you take out your puppy when I'm talking to you when you're in Florida, you're out for your power walk and you're doing your stuff.
Mhm.
You wake up in the morning and you have a ritual, you read your Bible. I think that that's important to keep a maintenance with spirit, body, and mind. You know what I mean? Mind, body, and spirit.
Mhm.
We both get up. I do my meditation. You do your prayers. I do my exercise. You do your walks and your stuff with the kids, with your grandson and your family. What else do you feel that women should also do for themselves so they can hone into their creative side and want to do and start a business?
Well, I think, it's very important for women to change their mindset.
There we
And
go.
in
Yeah.
changing that mindset and realizing just because you've entered midlife, it does not mean that life has ended. You're basically in your prime. So in reverse, a
Yeah.
lot of the
Yeah.
times women think that they're in their prime when they're in their adolescence. But when you hit your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and beyond, I consider that to be your prime. Why? Because you have done so much in life, whether it is raising kids or
Mhm.
having a career for 30 years. Now it's time for you to have that mindset on focusing on yourself, that self care. And when you start thinking about how am I going to take care of myself, then you need to think about your mind, body,
Mhm.
and spirit. What do I need to bring into my life and make that a ritual to have some kind of structure throughout the day, whether it is to start with prayer or start with meditation, to incorporate a walk, to go to the gym, to do something new that perhaps you didn't have time to do prior entering your midlife
I love that.
journey.
Something new every day makes you smarter. You know that
Yes.
there's something new every day. Um, so I always share this that when I was going through menopause, I thought I was going crazy. My life was like, oh my God, I'm doomed. And that's why I got into Reiki. And with Reiki, then I got into meditation and then I got into yoga, breath work, and all of that. And that's where I'm at, where I'm 62 years old and I'm feeling like I'm in my 30s because how can I say this? I reset my mindset, like you said. Yeah, I reset my mindset. No, I'm not getting older. I'm getting younger. I have the opportunity now. I'm an empty nester. I just got married a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago. I'm reliving my new life.
Absolutely.
And that's where people need to see at the age of 40 and 50. It's like reinventing yourself definitely is important.
It's funny that you say that, because I believe that in society, sometimes people frown a little bit when women say, I'm reinventing myself.
Mhm.
But it's interesting because I feel there's that stigma about men. As men get older, they're considered like they're becoming fine wine.
Mhm.
But they think as women becoming almost like a peach. And the
Mhm.
reason that I'm going to use this analogy and this vision is, if you leave a peach on the counter and you don't eat it right away, it might take a couple of days or a week for that peach to start to get wrinkled.
Right.
But the top layer is getting wrinkled. It doesn't mean that the peach is not good
Yes.
any
Right. It's
longer
not sweet. Got
inside.
you.
And sometimes when you peel the top layer, the fruit is still good. And it's the same when it comes to women. You know,
Yeah.
we may look a certain way and maybe we may have a wrinkle or two, or our bodies may be changing, but we're still very vibrant and alive inside.
I feel like I'm 35. I'm not gonna let old get me.
Mhm.
I promise you that. And you neither you're you clearly because you're beautiful and
Thank you.
young
Thank you.
and beautiful and young. And that's the whole thing is self-love. If you start caring more about yourself, the way you look, you start taking care of yourself more,
Mhm.
it matters. People are gonna notice. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, sometimes people judge you by the way you look.
Yes.
And like you said about the peach, it's wrinkled, but it's sweet. It's still sweet.
Mhm.
And it's a conversation about men and women all the time, Mars versus Venus, where women in their 60s are no longer attracted to men. That's not true these days. That's not true because women in their 60s are beginning to look better and better and better. And I feel like we're attracting younger guys.
That is
So,
true.
that's new for me anyway.
Well, that's a whole different
That's a whole
conversation.
different conversation, but that's where we're
Mhm.
going back to 40 and 50.
Mhm.
It's not the end. It's the beginning of something new. It's
It's
a
a
new chapter
it's
in
an
your
it's a
life.
new chapter, and I think women are taking advantage of that new chapter and deciding, I'm going to, start a business. I'm going to start a
Yeah,
business perhaps in a passion that I may have, or an idea that I haven't been able to share. And there are a lot of women networking groups out there, which are very helpful to kind of
absolutely.
provide guidance for women when they find themselves not knowing exactly how to get started with a particular business or idea that they may
It's a
have, which is
community
great.
of women out there that we
Absolutely.
both partake sometimes, and we're there for them too, and they're there for us. And I think that because of that group and meeting with them, we're here. We met through a women's group networking. So there's definitely opportunity, women getting better these days. And I'm excited for us to help them get better because with your experience with dealing with menopause and now becoming a certified menopause coach, that's a biggie. That's a big. And me as a Reiki practitioner, just trying to help women try to calm their nervous system so they can feel better and kind of receive a little better information that
Mhm.
they need to. I think it's a good mix, and that's what I'm hoping to do with Vital Women, and with Mental Health America too, is to help people reset their mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a purpose driven type of person.
Hmm.
And sometimes I feel that you have a much better purpose if you have gone through certain
Yeah.
experiences in life, and that experience helps you to guide you to find your way.
Absolutely. And then
Hmm.
you can share that experience with others.
With
Because
others.
if you got out of it, how did you get out of it? You
Hmm.
can show others.
Hmm.
Because somebody as someone a client comes to me and says, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I said, I've
Hmm.
been there, I've done that. I know where you at. I know
Yes.
what you need.
Yes.
Let's have a seat, let's figure it out
Mhm.
together. And yeah.
That's how we created this podcast. That's how
Yeah.
we created our menopause holistic business.
Yeah.
And do you want to share a little bit about what the Vital Women of Washington Heights are going to bring in the future and what we're going to
Yeah,
do?
we're gonna bring a whole bunch of stuff. We're working with a whole bunch of women and just, teaching, educating women on how to feel better and how to look better and how to stay maintenance wise, maintaining that
That
vitality,
vitality.
that sexiness too, because women are very, very powerful. That's what we want to do, and we want to educate women, and we want to bring these nutritionists into our podcast so we can also talk about how foods create moods and how foods, what you eat, you can
Mhm.
become. So it's important that between the ages of 40 and 50, you take care of your body and
Mhm. Mhm.
exercise. So it's a whole bunch of stuff that we're bringing. Mental Health America, we're going to be hosting some workshops for their facilitators, for people that work there. So I'm excited, and
I'm
this
very
is all
excited.
something that
Mhm.
you started rolling, and then I rolled with you, and it's now
Mhm.
we have our producer Connor. It's just like wow. So yeah, so
Yes,
thank you,
we're
Yvette. So
you're
that's
welcome.
what
You're
we're up
welcome.
to. That's
Yeah.
what we're gonna
Mm.
do.
We're
Plus,
growing every day and every month, and in the month of August, we're going to at the Willow Bookshop and Lounge. We're going to have a local author.
yes,
Mhm.
we're going to have Laura Faciano Stanziano. I love her last name. Don't say you don't remember. I started reading the book
Mm.
midway. It's very, very good. I'm not going to give it away because she's hosting on the evening of August 19th at the Willow Bookshop and Lounge. She's hosting
A book
a
signing.
book signing, so
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. And we're also having something on August the 21st. We're having Menopause Matters.
Menopause matters because it's important for women and men to understand the whole phase and journey
That
that
matters.
we
I
go
love
through.
that because I had a
Mhm.
client, talked to me the other day on how her son reacted about something that was going on. And he said to her, he shouted out, "Oh, you're just going through menopause."
Mhm.
That ticked me off. That kind of pissed me off. That he said that to her, I kind of felt that because I felt her pain.
Mhm.
So I think it's important that we do educate some men about how sensitive it is when women are going through some menopause.
It's a natural biological change that we
Absolutely.
can't stop, and we all are going to go through it. Women are going to go through it, and compassion is needed and understanding.
Evie, this is really off the record, but why do you think now is the most important time to have these conversations about menopause?
That's a good question. That's a good question. It's an important time to have these conversations because there's a large percentage of women that will be entering perimenopause, will enter menopause, and will experience postmenopause. And half of society, we're women, and we have to learn to get along with the other half, which is men. And in doing that, they need to understand the changes that we're going through because it affects not just our household, but it affects the workplace also.
Fix everything. It's a deeper
Mhm.
conversation, right? On
Mhm.
how we really need to all understand what menopause is so we can all kind of figure it out how to work with it.
Mhm.
Because it affects everyone. It affects children, it affects the husbands, it
Mhm.
affects the bosses, it affects
It
everyone.
affects everyone.
And
Mhm.
I remember when I was in corporate back in the 80s and women used to call out because they had cramps.
Mhm.
They didn't get paid. That's all I got to say. Anywho, we got something else that's going on. On September the 2nd, we're going to be at the Willow Bookshop
We
with
are.
Connor at the End Lounge at 11 o'clock, and we're going to do a nice little
We're
podcast.
going to do a podcast with Erin, the owner, and we're going to learn why she chose to open a bookshop and what passion led her to do that. I'm very excited to
Yeah.
have that conversation with her.
I'm excited too because
Mhm.
I know Erin personally, and she's such an amazing person. And
She
I'm glad that
is.
you hang out there a lot.
I do.
You hang out at the bookstore, bookshop. I love it.
Well, it's such a great vibe because she has set it up like
It's really
a coffee
cutesy.
bar, and instead of going to a bar and drinking alcohol, you can go and hang out at the bookstore and have coffee and have conversations with the owner and also the people that walk in to
She's
purchase books.
she's got it set up like someone's living room. Just come out and chill out.
Yes,
There's little
yeah.
corners here and there's a little corner there,
Hmm.
and you want some coffee or tea, you're welcome to
And
it.
you're welcome
And I'm
to.
really excited about Erin. So I'm excited about September 2nd. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
welcome. What else are we doing?
So we're
I'm
also doing the Path of the Goddesses retreat on September 20th and the 21st, and I'm really excited about that because we've been on and off just trying to get the date right and get the location right because that's important to
that
us
is
that we
very
want to make
important.
sure that everyone's safe and comfortable and wherever we decide to host
Mhm.
a space. And that's going to be an amazing opportunity because El Camino de la Diosa, the path of the goddess is all about keeping yourself
Mhm.
looking like a goddess
Mhm.
and being
Mhm.
powerful and and wearing those different hats.
Wearing those different hats. And by the way, we're going to do it in Spanish also.
Yeah,
It's not
so
going to be an English retreat. It's going to
not
be
yet. It's not going to be an English retreat, but
we're
we're
first
definitely going.
launching it in Spanish.
We're going to do it in
Mhm.
Spanish because we have an amazing healer, Viviana, who's coming from
Mhm.
Miami, and she's going to help host all of this, and
Yes.
she's going to bring in her magic, her beautiful healing magic. So I'm really excited about women going back to their inner child. What did you want when you were a little girl? What were your
Mhm.
hopes and dreams? What did you write down that you wanted to do?
Mhm.
Where are you at right now, energetically, emotionally? Um, where do you want to be 5 years, 2 years from now? So El Camino de la Diosa is going to be an opportunity for women to come and explore that opportunity. Dance. We're going to have someone, dancing. You got to move your body. Yoga. We're going to talk about yoga and breath work and releasing what no longer serves you. Foods, moods. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to have a nice little luncheon. It's going to be a good opportunity for us to really connect with the community. So El Camino de la Diosa, September 20th and 21st. It's going to be an amazing opportunity for you guys to come and explore something new and have these conversations about how to feel better 40, 50, and 60. Just saying, because I'm 62.
Yes.
I had to put it out
You know,
there.
you mentioned that we're going to explore our inner child, la niña
Yes.
interior.
La niña
La
interior.
niña interior. And it's such an important topic because you may go somewhere, let's say now during the summer concerts, and the first people that you see that are front and center are children. They're out there dancing freely. They don't care who's looking at them.
No
And
judgment.
as we grow and mature, a lot of the times we're told, don't do this, don't do that. And our inner child just gets quieter and quieter. And we become like, I'm shy about doing this. I don't want to do this. I don't
That's a
want to
good
do
point.
that. It's because she's lost out there. Somewhere in our body, she's lost, and somebody told her, quiet yourself down. We want to bring that inner child out. And we want her to, wherever she goes, for her to feel confident, for her to feel happy. If she feels like dancing, to get up and dance and not hold that energy in.
Absolutely. And I don't know how much time we have, but this is a very, very good topic, what you just said. When I was a little girl, if I started dancing too much or having too much fun, mira, date quieta, ¿qué tú estás haciendo? ¿Qué tú haces? No te portes así. It starts when we were an inner child. That our mommies don't do that. Our dads don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So then we weren't had a chance to explore how we feel and what we do and what we want. We shut down all the time. So it's important that we connect with the inner child to revamp her and be better.
Yeah. And in October is actually my favorite month here in New York because
Beautiful.
of the foliage and the different, colored leaves and just that crisp air. And there's a lot of things happening in October. And one of the main things is like health and wellness. And we're going to be offering a health and wellness, what did I call it? Health and wellness, thrive at work, thrive at life, connects workplace and personal wellness. Because as we discussed earlier, it all comes around.
Absolutely.
If you're not happy inside when you go to work, you're not going to be productive. If you're not happy inside, you're not going to get along with your coworkers. If you don't feel healthy and energetic, that's going to interfere with your work production.
Absolutely.
Therefore, when you're feeling healthy and happy, you're productive, and it cuts down on being absent at work and calling out, because your mood basically controls everything. And that's why you need to change that mindset.
It's interesting you say that, because when I used to work with doctors and they used to come in a bad mood, because doctors. I was like, oh no, not today, doctor, not today. Not today. Because the way I'm feeling, the way you feeling, it's just going to be a bad day. So it's very, very interesting because you thrive at work. If you're in a good mood, happy people thrive. When I used to work in sales at Raymore and Flanagan, if I was a happy person, I made some money. But if I was crampy or whatever in a bad mood, that client was going to pick it up on me.
Absolutely.
And not
That
buy
energy
from me.
rubs off.
It rubs off. So I think it's very important that thriving at work is important with the right energy, because that's the only way you're going to thrive. If you have the right work. If you're always grumpy, no.
You're not productive.
I
You're
know,
not positive.
opportunities do not
Yeah.
really come to grumpiness.
We need to be positive and productive.
Absolutely,
And
all
one
the
of the
time.
things that I truly believe in is good health is wealth. You know, we need to adjust our
Absolutely.
lives to change and have a better quality of life, have a better journey.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, it's like Andrew O'Grady says, there's no health without mental health.
Mhm.
If you are not mentally stable, if you are not aligned with purpose, you're going to have some challenges because there's a lot going on right now in our universe, and we have to stay, you know, grounded. Grounding is very important.
Grounding is very
Grounding is
important.
very important. So whenever you feel like you need to charge out and just do something, scream, yell, wiggle, something, you have to, you got to release it. You can't just, "Oh, I'm not going to say anything or do nothing because they're going to think I'm crazy." No, walk away, do your thing, and then come back and reset.
And reset.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited.
So am I. Lots of
Yeah.
great things happening for the
Yeah.
Vital Women.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you personally for inviting me to be part of this journey of yours,
Thank you.
which is
Thank you.
amazing because it definitely synchronized with what I, what my purpose is.
Well, I don't think I could do it without you because we both bring
Thank you.
balance into each other's life.
It's a beautiful
It's a beautiful balance
Yes.
and beautiful energy.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. And thank you for introducing me to Andrew O'Grady. And thank you for
You're welcome.
the opportunity to work with Mental Health America of Dutchess County, because I'm here to help.
Thank you. Thank you for
You're
your
very
help. Thank you
welcome.
for your
You're
support.
very welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. That
And thank you,
concludes our
O'Connor.
show. Thank you, Connor, our new producer. We're very excited
Connor
to work with
Walsh.
Connor Walsh.
Yeah. I mean,
From Walsh Wednesday.
yes. We're happy to be here.
Yes, we are.
Thank you, Connor.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's it. Well, I'm Iris Douglas, and this is my co-host Ivette O'Sullivan. We are I, and we're here to help, women grow and community grow. Thank you.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by MHA of Dutchess County and produced by CMJW Entertainment.